What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about England's last game that we went out and played, Belgium, in the UEFA Nations League, match day 3, guys. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into today's video. So we made 6 changes from the last game against Denmark, talking about the starting 11. So we started with Pickford, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Walker, Dier, Maguire, Trippier, Rice, Henderson, Mount, Rashford and Calvert-Lewin. Getting into the overall reaction now. England beat world's top ranked team Belgium. Wow, good game in the end, great result, well done boys, fantastic in the end. Excellent tactical adjustments in the second half. That was a very good performance, a deserved win for England. Let's keep up this good work. I'll take that any day of the week. Win done, 3 points done. Now before I start today's video, guys, unfortunately this video will not be fully edited because England have only got literally 2 days to our next game now against Denmark. So unfortunately, I won't be able to edit all of this video. Apologies for that. But anyway, guys, let's just get straight into today's video. What did I make of the performance? You know what? I thought it was a very good performance by the boys. I thought it was, I think it was one of those games where it was a both-sided game. You know, I think, you know, Belgium really attacked well. England defended well. They defended well in times, and it was vice versa really. It was one of those games really. It was a back and forward game, to be fair, but you know what, it was a good result overall, and I think it was a good game in the end. I think to beat a team like Belgium as well, who are ranked number 1 in the FIFA rankings, I think it's even more satisfying as well to beat a team like Belgium that have got some quality players in there. And I think it's good for where England are at the minute, in terms of, you know, where we're at right now ourselves. And I think it was about, you know, we needed that fight in the team and that desire. And obviously last month we lacked in productivity, commitment, desire, and I mean, we saw that against Belgium, and I thought from start to finish, I thought we dug deep. It was tough in times against Belgium. We knew Belgium were going to come and give us a game, and we had to really defend well. It was one of those games that, you know, when they come forward, when they get on the front foot, you have to defend, and we had to stay compact and we had to be organised at the back, and we couldn't put a foot wrong. We did put a foot wrong, but I'll get into that in a bit as well. So yeah, I think it was a very good performance overall. Fantastic win for England, and to do it against a team like Belgium is even more satisfying when you beat the world's best team as well. So I thought it was a deserved win. I think the goals were lucky to come our way, obviously getting the penalty and obviously Mason Mount getting the deflection, but it is what it is. I mean, a goal is a goal at the end of the day, so you got to take it. And like I said, I'll take that any day of the week. And we just got to keep up this good work. We don't want to let it slip now. We don't want to get too carried away from this one result. So we're just going to keep the heads up and keep the confidence up. And I think it's good for the confidence, the winning mentality, the mood as well. So it's good that some of these players are putting in some brilliant shifts in, and a few iffy substitutions as well that I'll get into as well now, in fact. But I thought there was in times where in our decision making where it was a bit, I think the decision making was good, but I think there was decision making in terms of substitutions by Gareth Southgate, and I've talked about this in my last video where he's bringing on a fullback for another fullback. Why you do that, I don't understand. Never, I said it last time, never mind giving players debuts. It's all about putting the right substitutions on for not only just for the sake of it, but for it to work as well. So, and I think we're all screaming in the game for more creativity in the midfield, and I think we saw that in the likes of Rice and Henderson. But I think it would have been better if Grealish was playing and to drive us more forward as well. And I think Grealish would have been a better option as well to play in the second half. I think obviously another substitution, Kane coming in as well. I think you could see that he wasn't sharp. You could tell that he was injured, so you could tell that maybe by bringing on Danny Ings would have been a better option as well. So it's just, decisions that Gareth Southgate is not thinking through really. And but at the end of the day, I think you've got to look on the bright side and think about this game against Belgium. Good performance. It's a good win. Winning 2-1 against Belgium, it's a great achievement. Obviously against a team that have been fantastic over the last couple of years. Obviously beat us twice in the World Cup, and we had to get them, and we got sweet revenge. And England have never been beaten on a Sunday, so we keep that record going. So and we had 6 clean sheets upon coming into this game against Belgium. So it's unfortunate that we couldn't get the 7th, but yeah, I mean, a great result, good game in the end, and let's keep up this good work. Get into the first half now. You know what? I thought we started that game with energy, bright, sharp. I think we played with intent in our play in the first opening 5 or 10 minutes, but then slowly but surely, I don't think we capitulated. I think there was times where we were really slow in the transition, and it was just a bit of a drop off a bit from England, and that's where sort of Belgium took in control of the game, had more possession. I think they got high up the pitch, they pressed on us. They got high up, they put pressure onto us, and they created some good chances. England, on the other hand, I think we sort of grew back into the game a little bit, but I think we sort of lacked in creativity a bit in the first half as well. I think this game was a game of two halves, if you ask me. I thought Belgium were in control and dominated in the first half, and then England came out and controlled and dominated the second half. So that's how I saw the game really myself. I mean, first half, it wasn't great. You could see that you could really see in the pattern of the play, really, of how it was going. So yeah, it was just one of those halves, really. I don't think it was poor. I think it was just not good enough, maybe, to summarise the first half. I thought we were lucky to get the penalty, in fact. Obviously, getting the call. Obviously, talking about the first penalty, obviously, once again, they were coming at us through. And, at the end of the day, once again, individual mistakes costed us, once again. And we're always talking about individual mistakes, no matter what, if it's England games as well. So again, individual errors, mistakes, whatever you want to call it. Eric Dier slips in and tackles Lukaku, doesn't get any of the ball. Of course, it's a penalty. The referee thought about it, but the referee got the right call. And it was a penalty. It was a clear penalty at the end of the day. And then I thought Belgium at first I thought Belgium had scored a second, but we got lucky because the player was in Pickford's way. He impeded. He was in it was pretty much in Pickford's vision, really, but it was way offside anyway. So and there was a couple of signs where we got a let off and where we sort of needed to wake up as well at times. And that's the thing with this formation that we're playing right now as well. And I'll get into that in a minute as well. And and then I thought in the second half, I don't think we were 10 times better, but we were better in the second half. You could see that we were really better. Gareth Southgate made some excellent tactical adjustments in the second half. I think if you ask me personally, I thought, because we were playing so narrow and so direct, the Rashford and Mount were not really pushed onto the fullbacks, and we struggled. And when we got into the second half, we regrouped, like Mount said. We regrouped. We knew we had a chance of winning this game, and what it was about is, I think Rashford and Mount had to really put the pressure onto the fullbacks, and that was the area where they were weak. And at the end of the day, we did that really well in the second half, and then you sort of saw a little bit of Kluivert-Lewin a little bit more isolated in a way. But yet again, Kluivert-Lewin, I thought he had a poor game as well. Wasn't as good as how he was against Wales. So I think the pressure was a little bit on him, and the spotlight was on him at the time as well. So I think it's time to see a different striker maybe in the next game. I'm not saying he had an awful game. It was just a poor game from him. So it was just one of those games, and I mean, he will bounce back. It was just I think it was just one of those games where he wasn't getting the service, and I think that was the only problem really, and not enough. Wasn't getting not enough of the ball, and I mean, I thought we put in some good crosses into the box and a few let-offs in the game, but I mean, a win is a win at the end of the day. You've got to take it, and you've beaten one of the world's best teams in Belgium that have got a lot of quality, and yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, and it's good for the confidence, it's good for the winning mentality. Let's not get too carried away from this result, and let's move on to the next game against Denmark. England have beaten one of the world's best team in Belgium that have a lot of quality. What have England done differently? And as an England fan, how did England do it? What did England do differently? I think my first point I'm going to point out is that obviously from last month there was a lack of productivity, desired commitment from the players, lack of creativity. So I think we can see that in this month we've done really well in terms of turning that around. I think also what we've done differently is, I think, we've really worked on a little bit more in the cohesion a little bit more as well, and into the team. I thought we were more inspiring this time instead of a flat England that we saw against Denmark last month. So we can clearly see that we've picked it up in our tempo and in our intensity as well, in our play, the intent, the energy, the fight, the passion, the pride, and it was there, I think. And how did England do it? I think in the first half we were, I don't think we were flat. That was the first thing that came to my head. But I think what it was is in the first half, like I said before, because we were playing so direct and so narrow, and there was that long ball all the time going over the top, it wasn't really working. And then in the second half, it was all about that tactical adjustment with Mason Mount and Rashford getting on the left flank and the right flank, push the fullbacks back, and we really put them on the pressure, and that's what really made them uncomfortable in times as well. So I thought we did really well in that as well. But obviously Gary Neville said in the game that he was unimpressed with England's pattern of play. There was no invention in the game, and there was always the danger when you looked at Gareth Southgate's 11 that he picked as well, and I'll also get into that as well in a minute as well. But also Mason Mount came out and said, we shifted further up the pitch and reduced the gaps between the lines of defence, midfield and the attack. We tried to stay higher, pressure on the ball and try and win it back as quickly as we can. And like I said, we got the fullbacks back, we pushed them really back, and that's where they were weak as well. And I thought beating one of the greatest teams, one of the world's best, I think it's even more satisfying that we can go and beat any team at the end of the day. I mean, it goes to show that in last month's games we only picked up 4 points in the space of 4 points in 2 games, which was, I thought, for me, was disappointing. But then coming into this one, so far so good. 2 wins out of 2. Obviously, one was an international one. So I think if we can build up that good confidence, that we've got the winning mentality, the mood's up there, and as well, and players have got smiles back on the faces. So I think it's just all about take it one game at a time and don't get too carried away from this result, because that's what young players do a lot as well. They get too carried away from beating one of the world's best teams, and take it one game at a time if I was you. And that's what we have to do as well. This is the 4th game England have played with the 3-4-2-1 in the last 2 games against Wales and Belgium. England have won both matches 3-0 and 2-1. Will the 3-4-2-1 work better than the 4-2-3-1? Well, the thing is, playing the 3-4-2-1, it's more defensive, and when you play with a defensive side, it leads on the opposition to come out and attacking, and they'll get on the front foot, they'll put the pressure onto us, and they'll play with a ton of energy, intent. They'll be aggressive. They'll be aggressive. They'll be playing with what's the word now? I can't even think of it. They'll be I can't even think of the bloody word now. And they're more not reckless, but they play with a bit more ambition in the team, and they really come on to us and they really get stuck in. So when you play more of a defensive side, it's a warning to the opposition, really, come at us really and come and test us. But that's the thing with a 3-2-4-1, because you're going defensive really, and with a 4-2-3-1 you're going more attacking, and you've got one less centre back playing. You've got more of a higher chance that you've got players out wide like the likes of Harvey Barnes, Rashford, Sterling, Mount, and you've got a higher chance of probably smashing teams with that formation as well. So there's positives and negatives as well and pros and cons that you can really take from these two formations, because one of them is a defensive formation and the other one is an attacking formation really. And I mean, even there was people on Twitter saying get Gareth Southgate out, or he's picking a defensive side. But this is the thing now, England's not the only team playing with a 4-2-3-1. If you look at other teams in the Premier League, the likes of Arsenal are doing that, Brighton are doing that. So I think he's trying to now get the players into a new system. And like I said, I think if you play with a 3-2-4, I think if you play with a 3-4-2-1, it's all about the player have got to know their roles at the end of the day. And I mean, at the end of the day, when you play with a 3-4-2-1, you're going more defensive, and you've obviously got, you're playing your right backs as right wing backs at the end of the day. So it's one of those situations where you think it's too defensive in times. Teams can really get you on the break, but you do have one more centre back to sort of keep you more compact and keep you more a bit organised and a little bit more stronger at the back as well. So I think that's a good thing about playing with a 3-4-2-1. But in the 4-2-3-1, you can have a central defensive midfielder, and you can have a CM as well. So I think that's perfect if you play someone like Grealish and Henderson as well. So I mean, at the end of the day, there's pros and cons to these two formations. But if you ask me, I think the 4-2-3-1's better than I think the 4-2-3-1's much better than the 3-4-2-1, because with the 4-2-3-1 you're going more attacking, and in the 3-4-2-1 you're going more defensive, and it's harder in the transition to get going forward, and that's why in times we were slow in the transition as well. So you've got to know what you're doing in the 3-4-2-1 as well, and you think it's easy, it's actually complicated as well, and you've got to be more alert and more aware of what's going on around you as well. So let's see how it works out, but let's see if it might be the new system, the new formation that Gareth's gone with, and let's see. I mean, he might have it for the foreseeable future, and he might have it in play for the Euros and the next World Cup. So let's see at the end of the day. I mean, it's interesting what he's gone with. I said it in my last video, go back to the 4-2-3-1, but still play with a 3-4-2-1. So let's see how we get on with it. We've won 2 games with it, well, 3 games with it, but I think 3 games that have not been, well, one of them was a convincing win, but the other 2 maybe probably got away with. So I think, there's obviously improvement there in the team that needs to be done. So let's see at the end of the day, and let's see if it works out, if it pans out. If it doesn't, then go back to the 4-2-3-1, because it's more attacking really, if you ask me. Who was my man of the match? I think the player that stood out for me, ran his socks off and did a job. I can't complain. Declan Rice. I do sometimes think about him that he's probably not the right player in times, and I thought he had a very good game. Declan Rice, he was running the show, and defensively did a job as well. So I thought he had a fantastic game, Declan Rice, and he's my man of the match. How do we beat Denmark? Now obviously we've got Denmark in our next fixture. Obviously this will be our last game against Denmark at home this time. I think for me now, I think we have to sort of win this game as well. It's all about now for the players to see how the players react after beating Belgium. I think it's all about the mentality as well in the team and the mindset. We want to take this game. We don't want to come in this game too carried away from after beating Belgium. So I think it's, we've got to look forward to this game now against Denmark, thinking, right, this is another game, treat this as another game now. Don't get too carried away from that one result, beating Belgium. Take this game well, and you've got 90 minutes to win a football match against Denmark. And I think we're capable of beating this team as well. At the end of the day, we should have lost that game away from home, and we didn't look convincing. We were uninspiring in the last game, and I think in the last two games we've shown that we're more convincing now in our style of play. In the transition, we've been a bit better as well. So I think there's signs of improvement so far, and I think, I think it's just all about. I think we play with that energy against Belgium, but I think it's just all about trying to maintain that energy for the rest of the game, really. And it's all about the high intensity, the high tempo. You've got to really push them back, put them under pressure as well. And it's not always just about be narrow all the time, be direct. Sometimes you've got to switch up the play a bit as well. And I think I want to see a little bit more of that with England against Denmark this time. I think Denmark, they'll look to give us a game. They'll look to give us a fight. I think they've just recently beat Iceland as well. So I think they'll come in with confidence themselves. We're in good spirits right now. We're in some good confidence at the minute. So it's just all about, play with energy, play with intent. We need to be aggressive, and we need to get going from the first whistle to the last whistle as well. So it's all about high intensity, high tempo. We need to show the desire, the commitment, the attitude as well. And we need the creativity in the team as well, productivity in the team as well. So it's just all about more desire in the team, a little bit, show the passion, the pride, the fight, and the heart as well. And obviously good spirit as well to come back from behind as well for England as well, beating Belgium as well. So I think coming into this game, it's, we cannot get too carried away. And this is going to test of how the players are going to react. And it's just all about, this is another game now. Treat this as another game. It's Belgium. It's Denmark, and we've played these already. We had a chance of beating them away. We didn't though. But I think Denmark, you just got to put in some good crosses into the box. We need the creativity in the team, and we just need to show that bit more ambition in the team as well, that we're capable of beating Denmark, and we can beat them. We had 3 good chances to put away that we could have won that game 1-0, but we didn't take our chances, and that's all it's all about, scoring your chances at the end of the day. And that's what we sort of lacked in as well in the last game. So it's just all about finish your dinner off as well, and we need we need everything out of the final third, and we need the last pass and the creativity, be compact as well, and stay organised, and don't get too reckless in times, and don't be making some stupid decisions like what Eric Dier did. So it's just all about be calm and collected, and make sure it's the right substitutions and the right decision making. And at the end of the day, we know we can beat this Denmark team, and I think they'll give us a good game, and let's go in that game with confidence, and we know we can beat them at the end of the day. Anyway, guys, that's getting into the goals. First goal, Rashford steps up and scores a nice and composed penalty for 1-0. Getting into the second goal, Rashford passed it to Trent. Trent puts a cross into the box. Trippier keeps the ball in play. Mount controls it. Mount shoots and takes a massive deflection and scores it for 2-1. Getting into the stats now, possession for England, it was 46.8%, and for Belgium, it was 53.2%. We had less possession, but still won the game. But that's always down to of how we well defended as well. We stayed in shape as well. Goals for England, it was 2, and for Belgium, it was 1. Total shots for England it was 9, and for Belgium it was 11. Shots on target for England it was 3, and for Belgium it was 2. Shot accuracy for England it was 33.3%, and for Belgium it was 18.2%. Shots inside the box for England it was 7, and for Belgium it was 6. Shots outside the box for England it was 2, and for Belgium it was 5. Total passes for England it was 567, and for Belgium it was 659 passes. Pass accuracy for England it was 87.7%, and for Belgium it was 88.5%. Getting into the substitutions now, Henderson went off for Phillips. Talk about Henderson's performance. Won the penalty for England's equaliser, going to the ground despite minimal contacts from Meunier. Could perhaps have shown more attacking intent with his passing, more making way for Calvin Phillips midway through the second half. Calvert-Lewin went off for Kane. Talk about Calvert-Lewin's performance. Kept his place in the side following his goal-scoring debut against Wales, unable to capitalise on a couple of half chances, but held the ball up well, linked the play intelligently and demonstrated his aerial prowess before being replaced by Harry Kane in the second half. Trent went off for James. Talk about Trent's performance involved in the build-up to England's second goal. His deep cross finding Kieran Trippier at the far post, but struggled defensively, particularly in the first half when Belgium appeared to target his flank, replaced by Reece James late on. Mount went off for Sancho. Talk about Mount's performance, selected ahead of Jack Grealish despite the Aston Villa's eye-catching performance against Wales. A plethorical figure for long periods on the right, but more effective when drifting across the front line, and scored the decisive goal after popping up on the left. Next up, we've got Denmark. Denmark are third in the table. Like I said, I think this is just another game against Denmark. We want to take this game. We need to come in with the right mentality, the right mindset. We need to be not only just physically, but mentally prepared for this game as well. This is going to see how the players react after beating Belgium as well. But this is another game. Get on the front foot, be attacking, be aggressive in our play. High intensity, high tempo, play with intent as well, and try and maintain it as well for the rest of the game, and make sure that you're that dominant side as well. Put some low and hard crosses into the box. We need the creativity. We need to show the final third, the last pass. Last time against Denmark, we couldn't really finish our chances, and I think we'll have a higher chance now this time of putting our chances away against Denmark. I think it's just coming with the right mentality, the right mindset. Don't get too carried away after that result. Treat this game as another game. It's Denmark. They'll come to give us a game. They'll come to give us a good fight, and fight from minute 1 to minute 90. Show that passion, that pride. Show that ambition and the productivity in the team as well. Show that relentless as well in the team as well. And be compact. Defensively, be compact. Stay organised. Keep our shape as well. And be organised at all times. And I think we're capable of beating this Denmark team at the end of the day. We've got a very good chance of beating them. We just need to put it right this time. Gareth needs to pick the right team, put the players in the right positions. He needs to balance the team out right. The structure in the team needs to be right. We need depth in the team, and needs to select the right formation for the game. The last time England won against Denmark was on Wednesday the 5th of March 2014, and it ended 1-0 to England. The last time England lost to Denmark was on Wednesday the 17th of August 2005, and it ended 4-1 to Denmark. The players to look out for is Christensen, Højbjerg, Eriksson, Delaney, Poulsen, Brathwaite, Larson, Dolberg, Vestergaard and Falk. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Be sure to leave a like. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. See you guys in a video in the next couple of days, and peace.